So what I need to do here is I need to work out what this answer is when I multiply it together so I can equate the different coefficients with each other. So let's expand these two brackets. We get ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus ax squared plus bx plus c. So these two are now expanded out. I've got my x cubed, so it looks like I'm getting the right point here. Let's now simplify it by collecting any terms. Well, ax cubed will stay by itself, plus, well, I've got bx squared here, and I've got ax squared here. So I can put those together, b plus a, x squared. I've also got cx and bx. Well, they can go together. Plus c plus b, x, and I'm just left with c. So now I've got these in terms of x squared, x cubed, x squared, x and c. So I could bring this down and say, well, I have x cubed here minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8. And now it's just a matter of equating them. Okay, well, let's equate them. Let's equate the coefficients of these pronumerals. So x, a is equal to 1. So I can say here, a would equal to 1. How would that work? If I was going to do that mathematically, I could say, well, I'm going to have ax cubed is equal to x cubed. If I wanted a by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by x cubed. So therefore, a is equal to, well, x cubed divided by x cubed is equal to 1. But I don't need to do this here because I'm just equating them. I know they have the same pronumeral, the coefficients just need to be equated. So a equals 1. I have another one I can get really, really easily, and that's c. Well, c has to equal 8 because they're in line. Here's my cubes. Here's my squares. Here's my, my linear values. Here's my constants. Well, I don't have any in here except for c equals 8. So now I have two possible answers. I know what c is. I now know what a is. I now need to work out what b is. But here's the tricky part. We work out what b is by using other information that we've already found. So let's look at this first one. We've got b plus a is equal to negative 5, because we're just looking at the coefficients of what x squared is. But I already know that one of these variables here has an answer. We know that a is equal to 1. So I could rewrite this here as a plus 1 is equal to negative 5. Now, if I do this correctly, if I bring this across, I should get b is equal to negative 6. I'm done. I've found what b is going to be. Is that enough for me to say, stop, don't do any more? My answer is no. And the reason why is, once if you got this wrong, okay, and you plugged it up here, you could be sitting there for ages going, how I can't factorize it, it's not working for me. You've got another set of data here. What I would recommend you do is, well, replace the c with 8 and see if you get that same answer for b, because you should get that same answer. So let's have a look at that. So we've got c plus b. What's that equated to? Well, that's equated to positive 2. I already have a value for c. I'm not going to plug b in because I want to prove that b is constant all the time. It's always going to be negative 6. So if I replace c with 8, I'm just going to bring the 8 across. So change the side, change the sign. So b is equal to negative 6. So I have indeed shown that b does equal negative 6. So all I need to do here now is substitute the a, the b, and the c into this equation to help me work out what that second quadratic is, to help me get the factors for this. So let me have a look. Can you see? We'll write it. Oh, we'll write it over here. You should be able to see it still. Okay. So let me just see. So we can write this here. We know that we've got x plus 1, and now we're going to put in here a, well we're not going to put 1 in there, we'll just leave it as x squared. We've got b, which is negative, so negative 6x plus 8. These aren't my factors yet, they're just my two quadratic and linear factors I'm multiplying together to get this. I want to find out what the exact factors are going to be. So I know that x plus 1, I can't go any further. But I can factorise this into two smaller pairs. Two numbers that multiply to give 8, add to give negative 6. Or in this case here, I'm going to get x minus 4 and x minus 2. Let's just do this here, minus 2, minus 4. Okay, let's see if that works. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. Negative 2 plus negative 4 is negative 6. And this is the factors of this cubic. And it's the best way of doing it. Okay, you need to be able to use polynomial equality to help us work out what this function here is going to be. Okay, in a lot of instances, you may be given what your first factor is going to be, what your linear factor is. And therefore you just have to work out, well, what is my quadratic factor? But to be able to find a polynomial, a quadratic polynomial, a cubic polynomial, well, you need to be able to multiply a linear and a quadratic together. And in this instance here, I need to be able to find out what my 0 is, if it's not provided with you, so you get that factor. And then I start multiplying these two together with unknown variables for my quadratics to get my A, my B, and my C. A lot of work in there. A lot of work, and it's easy for you to make an error. But make sure you're always working down. So as you can see when I do my work in here, the only thing that I'm out of touch from is, especially when I'm working here, I'm staying underneath the working part that I'm looking at. A equals 1, I could write A equals 1 here, I could write C equals 8 here. But that here, they're nice and simple equating. This is where the meat of the calculations are coming. Make sure you're very careful with that. Alright, have lots of fun.